Let's see if this is working. Excellent. Let's see what the crack is. This is MLS Ireland Does Predictions. You're watching this officially on Twitch. If you're watching this, it's probably more or less you'll be watching this on YouTube. So, welcome. Yep. So this is on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and go over and follow me on Twitch. I'm on 17, trying to do a bit better than that. So, if you have Twitch and all that kind of stuff, be good crack. Go test it out. So, as I said, this is basically me trying to do Twitch, kind of do for the week because there's only 6 games on, so there's no point really to be doing all this editing and all that kind of jazz. So I'm trying out Twitch for the crack. So this is what it just looks like. And I have all the wee kind of stuff here, the teams who's playing and all that kind of stuff, and a bit of stats to give you a wee bit of information. So obviously, I may as well crack on. And obviously, someone happened to my YouTube stuff, basically because my YouTube, this stuff gets in the hundreds, so I'm happy enough with that, and I usually get a subscriber a go. Let's just say that. For some reason, my YouTube videos basically just got promoted for some reason. I don't know who by, and then there was advertisements at the start of it, so God knows why. And it just basically inside an hour there was like nearly 100 views inside an hour, which doesn't really happen. So, bit strange, but. It's YouTube, so YouTube does what YouTube does. So I may as well crack on because I got the first game pretty well. So I'm hoping they're going to get this first game correct. It is New York Red Bulls against I was going to say Charlotte. New York Red Bulls against Colorado Rapids. As you can see here, Colorado Rapids haven't won a game away from home this season, so that's not all that great. Granted, New York Red Bulls was doing very well. Well, at the very start of the season, they were doing awful at home, and then they're starting to do well. Then they lost last week. I can't remember who it was against. New York City FC, that's right. It was a 1-0 win. It was a strange game. They started off the game quite well, and then Castellanos scored for them for New York Red Bulls. Scored for New York City FC and won the game. And they're coming up against a good Colorado Rapids team, but haven't won away game this season, which isn't great. Colorado, who their home record isn't actually too bad. I think it's keeping them up to be sure. No, they're down to 24th. Granted, this is 6 points the whole way up to LA Galaxy territory, so anything can happen. But saying that, only the one win against LA Galaxy, a 2-0 win, and that was at home. But their last away game was a 2-1 beaten by Seattle. So they're not doing all that great at the start. They started the season to done actually quite well, but they're not doing all that great at the moment. Saying that, New York Red Bulls did lose their last home game, but that was like a derby, a New York derby, a Hudson River derby. So come up against a Colorado Rapids team who are struggling at the moment, conceding quite a few. Well, there's a lot of goals in their games, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win to New York Red Bulls. Just, they are a better team. Charlotte, again, Colorado Rapids are starting to struggle a bit now, and I think last season was a bit of a fluke, even though that they have like one of the lowest wages bills in the MLS, so that was pretty impressive. And then I think them getting into the Champions League didn't really help them, and they got beaten the first game, and then kind of all went downhill from there. So it's not a great season for them. The next one is Seattle against Dallas. Now, Seattle now are starting to, they were starting to pick up, and then they got beaten in a few games, and then they kind of messed up their season. But that one against Colorado Rapids kind of put them in good stead as a 2-1. But their record in the last 6 isn't great, as you can see. Granted, 3 of them was away games, and one of the games was against Portland, their rivals. So, saying that, you can't really put it too much on them because FC Dallas, similar. They haven't only won only lost the one game against New York City FC, which isn't a bad one. They beat Real Salt Lake, which is pretty good, and they beat LA Galaxy, which is pretty good. So, them coming into Seattle, gonna be a bit of a distance to travel and all that kind of jazz. Only lost one game in the last 4. Granted, Seattle's won 2, but they're at home and they have a good record at home. But they're coming up against a Dallas team coming into this one with a bit more form, I'm going to say. So I'm going to go for like a 2-all. I do think these two teams are capable of, well, I was watching Seattle the other night there, but they can score 2 goals. I think Dallas can score 2 goals, and I think these two teams are kind of well equipped to. They're kind of well equipped, so I think these two teams should probably get a good run in this one. And when I think it's probably going to be like a 1-all, I kind of thought a couple of games last weekend there was going to end in draws, 1-alls kind of stuff, not 4-alls. So MLS, who the hell knows what's going to happen. The next one is Charlotte against DC United. So Charlotte are very good at home. They've lost a few, maybe just 3 or 4 at home. 3 haven't drew anything, and the last 4 they've actually done very well. Whereas DC United won last weekend with Wayne Rooney's first goal, beating Orlando in the last couple of minutes. Pretty good result again, but this one's going to be a trickier one because Charlotte are a very good team at home. They are, where are they in the league? Their away record isn't great, but their home record is pretty good. So yeah, that win was against Charlotte, but they're going to be back home again, where I think the only defeat that was against Austin that you've seen. But again, a Dallas team a DC United team who are starting to pick a bit of confidence up. Granted, they didn't look great and their defense was still all over the place, so I can't really put too much emphasis on them getting a good result in this one unless Wayne Rooney basically, pulls out a masterpiece of management. I doubt it. Charlotte are too good at home. I went for like a 1-0 win. Charlotte too good for the game, too good for DC United. I think DC United didn't look great, and Charlotte at home are pretty good. So I went for that one. The next one was Columbus Crew against FC Montreal. Similar results, pretty much. Granted, Columbus Crew have only won the 1 game in the last 4 at home, so that's not great. Granted, they haven't really lost many to be fair. But saying that, where are they? Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew are 12th, and they haven't lost a game. Sorry. So they haven't lost a game, which is pretty impressive. Very similar record to Portland Timbers, to be fair. So when you think about it, a draw against New England, a win against Cincinnati, a draw, win against a team who are Montreal. They're up a bit. Come on. A 0-0 against New York City. That's not a bad result. They beat DC United, beat Toronto before they got what they need, really. So can't really put too much emphasis on that. So because Columbus Crew have 1 draw, 1 draw, 1 draw, 1 draw, 1 draw, and all that kind of jazz. They've scored actually 2 goals in nearly every game that they won, so that's pretty impressive as well. They are going to be at home. They are going to be against the Montreal team. Why not? I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win. A 2-0 win to Columbus Crew against Montreal. Columbus Crew are a good team. They're okay. They're 12th, so they're not doing too bad. As long as they don't lose games, they are conceding quite a few too many. More than goal in the game anyway. 1.01 or probably some stupid like that. And they're scoring not as much, but they are starting to score more in the last few games, so that's not too bad. The next one is Portland Timbers against Nashville. Now Portland haven't lost a game in the last 4, which is pretty impressive at home. Granted, Nashville's only lost 1 game away from home, which is pretty impressive too. But like I said, Portland, like Columbus Crew, 1 draw, 1 draw, 1 draw, 1 draw. And that 4-all was mental during the weekend there. And so they're coming up against the Nashville team, who are just 1 point above them. And they've only won the 1 game, and that was against Seattle, so can't really take too much against that. Seattle are very all over the place. Got beaten by Los Angeles at home. Drew against Cincinnati and drew against Vancouver, which you would have suspected them, where they are in the league, to probably get a better result than that. But a Portland team, like I said, 1 draw, 1 draw, and all that kind of stuff. but Nashville are a very good defensive team, slightly. When I say that, I just conceded that they conceded 29 and scored 29, so their goals per game and all that kind of stuff, not great. And they're coming up against a Portland Timbers team. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Portland Timbers. I think Portland are starting to turn that corner off the season, and they're starting to play very well. They're starting to score goals, conceding plenty as well. Granted, if you take last couple of nights ago. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Portland. And the last one is San Jose Earthquakes against Inter. San Jose, who are 25th for a reason. They did start doing very well when they beat Chicago and beat LA Galaxy, which was a bit surprising. And then drew against Toronto, but got beaten by Houston. Got beaten by Portland, okay, not too bad. And then they drew against Real Salt Lake. And they're coming up against an Inter team who basically started off the season crap. Done very well, and then went crap. So this is the Villanova effect, I would assume. Sorry. Inter have only won one game away. Not great. They have to travel to San Jose. That's not great. After playing a game on the weekend, which is not great. They have Higuain, who scored a hat-trick. Granted, they drew the game, I think. They did draw the game. It was 4-4. Yep. That was a mad game. They shouldn't have conceded that many to Cincinnati, but they did. And I think San Jose Earthquakes, probably at home, probably are going to look at this game and go, yeah, we got the win in this one. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think Inter, it is a long trick for them. They are a better team than San Jose Earthquakes, but they have better players. San Jose at home are the capabilities of winning this game, but it's MLS. So, and I could just put numbers into the thing and pick them out of a hat, and then that's probably closer. But anyway, yep, I'll stick with that. That is my predictions. I'll put them on the screen here for you all to see. What do you think of that? So is there anything in there that you would suggest that are completely different that you wouldn't really predict? So yeah, those are my predictions, and I hope to God they all come true. Anyway, that should be all. That was about 13 minutes of me chatting crap about 6 games, so that's not too bad. So I hope to God I see you on the next one. Bye.